studios. This is After 9 with Scott and Kat.
Hey now!
Hello, friends.
How was your weekend, Kat?
Oh, God, I survived it.
Were you?
And it was good.
Were you giving her? Or?
No, I
No
mean
giving
with
her?
the dancing.
Oh, the dance. Oh
remember?
my God! I forgot to ask you.
Yes, it was a very long weekend of dancing, but it was good.
Was it all one show or was it multiple shows? Because you have two different daughters that do dance.
Thank heavens with my daughter's one show, one evening. But I went to my niece's recital the next day because it was recital time. Oh, there's a lot of recitals happening. Now her recital was 2 days. So I was like, ugh. But 1 hour. This was a 3-hour show, but one night.
Okay.
Yeah, but
and
my
you prefer it that way, I think.
Well, over one night, yeah, for sure. And my daughters were in the first half of the show, so we left at intermission.
You didn't even stick around to see the other kids dance?
No.
No,
I didn't.
Why do you squint down?
No, because I feel bad about that. But why do I need to? Do I need to stick around and watch other people's kids perform? It's not like my kids were going to come back out and watch. They were more interested to go to Tim Hortons with the family, which is what we told them we were going to do to celebrate. You know? So they're like, let's go.
So, for example, when my son graduated 2 weeks ago, it's a big university graduation. There's thousands of people. And he was fortunate enough, alphabetically, to be one of the first half called.
Yeah.
And as soon as he got his diploma, not walking right back to the chair, he walked right back out the back of the arena.
Perfect.
And I thought that was brilliant. I thought, now here's a fucking kid who learned something from me. Way to go, Joshua.
You don't need to be there. Like, is it nice to support others? Sure, yeah, for sure. But
in a timely fashion.
I mean, we can all understand it, right?
We don't have to waste an entire day supporting others when we could. I mean, he was there for the first half. He cheered them all on. He applauded the first few people who went before him. He just dipped right after he got his diploma. And I applaud that. I think that's fucking brilliant.
You wonder how many like Wilsons are out there. Fuck all you guys, man. Fucking hate you people.
So my mom started giving him shit. You know, all these people, they sat through your diploma. You left before they got their diploma. And I'm like, Mom, just leave the fucking kid alone. He's smart. I told him to do shit like that.
Yeah.
This is great. This is efficiency at its peak, and I love it.
That's so funny.
So how did the girls do, though?
They did good. They did really good. It was cute. It was a good mix of like intermediate, like hardcore competitive dancers, but they mixed them in with like the younger kids in between. But it is a well-oiled machine, very well run. They do this every single year. This is just my first year participating in it. It's a big stage. It was at center of this in the square, which is in Kitchener.
Yep.
So a very big stage for them. But they had a great time. It was good.
What song were they dancing to?
It was Star Wars. So the dance place, their theme this year was 365 days of celebration. So everything was broken up into months and days. So there was a Father's Day performance, for example, and a Family Day performance, and a St. Patrick's Day performance. So they got May the 4th. So it was Star Wars theme. So they were dressed as Leia, and the boys were dressed as Luke Skywalker. And they did a Star Wars dance.
That is awesome.
That's cute.
Okay, so you are...
So yeah, I survived that. It was just busy because then I had that, and then I had another family thing on Saturday, the recital as well. It was a lot of just go, go, go this weekend.
Is this the end now? Do you get a break, or is this just set up for the next one and you got to sign them up again for another term?
I get a break. The next term, should I choose to accept it, they're there for some camps in the summertime, which is good. They like dance camp. And then there's a break. So we're undecided whether we're going to do dance again. My kids really like gymnastics, so I think they're actually more geared toward gymnastics.
Wow.
So we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
If there was a dance camp specifically for moms, do you think you would get into it?
Dance camp? Like, what do you mean by camp? How much time am I putting into it here?
You're going to put in like 4 days, couple hours a day.
Whoa,
pack your lunch, and you're just going to be like, you're going to look like fucking J-Lo by the time you graduate.
No, I don't think that I would do that.
No, eh?
No. I mean, I would have some fun doing a dance. It's been years since I took dance lessons, but I was in the dance club for my high school.
Okay.
It was the squad, yeah.
I don't mean to bombard you with questions about the girls' dance recital. It's just I'm curious about this because you've seen me go through this with sports. Now it's hilarious to see you go through it with dance. Did you pre-drink in the parking lot before the routine? Or?
No, but they did serve drinks there at the place. I didn't, though, because I didn't want to have to go pee and leave the performance. My husband was really close to missing their performance because he had to pee, because he had a tall drink.
You break the seal, and that's what happens, right? Yeah. Okay, you mentioned Center in the Square. A beautiful venue. If you ever get a chance to see a
it's a
show
good one.
in Kitchener, you should absolutely go there. It's been around since before I was born. It's a long time running. I was looking at their calendar the other day. It is amazing. Between dance recitals and convocations from various high schools in the area, that place is running like 7 days a week.
They make dough. Like, they make dough, these places. You know that it costs a lot of money to rent those places out, and understandable, right? Especially when you have the concession up and you use their staff for ushering people and all that stuff. Yeah, they gotta make some decent coin, I would think.
While we're talking Kitchener, this past Friday was St. Mary's General Hospital's annual Red Day fundraiser. It's, again, pathetic that hospitals have to hold fundraisers.
Yeah.
I mean, this is Ontario in 2024, and they've got their hands out to us when we already have so much money taken off our checks to pay for the things that they have to fundraise for.
Yeah.
Well, the numbers are in. $160,427 in one day.
Very good.
Amazing. Actually, I'm going to do a couple of different local things here. So, Saturday, this is a frustrating one. Vehicle driving on Belmont Avenue in Kitchener loses control, crashed into a bus shelter with 4 people inside. It was a 36-year-old woman, mom, with her 3 kids, all under 6 years old. Didn't do a thing wrong. They were just waiting for their bus. Bam, car loses control, crashes into the shelter. We now have 4 people in serious condition in the hospital.
I was curious about this. So loses control is the story. That's how the story goes. Because I was a little concerned when I first heard it, of course. I think as a lot of people would wonder, was this done on purpose? What was the deal? Like the fact that you happen to hit a bus shelter with people inside of it, right?
What are the odds of that?
Yeah.
A 36-year-old Kitchener woman charged with careless driving and not wearing a seatbelt. So it's not an impaired thing. It's not a drug thing. This was just somebody driving carelessly and put 4 people in the hospital.
Yeah.
Careless driving, what do you get? Like a fine? You don't even lose your license for that.
I don't believe you lose your license now.
You took out 3 kids and their mom. Nothing?
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. It's scary though. That you shouldn't need to pay attention to cars jumping a curb. This is why it scares me to be out like that. It really does. It scares me to be a pedestrian. It scares me to be a driver. There's a lot of scary circumstances. You just have to keep your eyes peeled and, gosh, hope that everyone has their senses with them.
I'll do one more from Waterloo Region. Police are pursuing a bunch of teenagers because of an incident on Saturday. Around noon hour, a group of teenagers stole a pride flag from a home. They ran and eventually ditched the flag. They had some fun. They pulled it off the pole, played around with it, and then just ditched it. Police are actually dedicating officers to this. They say they're looking for a group of 7 teens, a mix of males and females, approximately 16 to 17 years old. They're treating the incident as hate motivated, which comes with much stiffer penalties.
Right.
We've got stores open in the region that are selling illicit drugs, magic mushrooms. The cops are way too busy to deal with that. But they're going to send out cops and do an investigation on what at the absolute most should be mischief. And they're looking at hate crime charges because they stole a pride flag.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing some pretty crazy shit to the Israeli flag right now. And nobody seems to care about that. But this one, hate crime charges because it was a stupid mistake. But I mean, come on.
I mean, I think I could be wrong here, but I think it's just a tactic to let people know how serious that is. I don't know if, in this particular example, if these teenagers are caught, that they will lay those charges. We don't know that for sure. They'll probably have a chat with them. What if they did something stupid? I mean, obviously they did something stupid, but what if they didn't realize what they were doing, etc.? So they may not necessarily be charged, but I think it's a tactic to use, especially considering Pride. We're in it. We are not even midway through it, and you need to kind of let people know as a police service that you're taking it seriously. So that's what I think. I think it's more a warning shot, if you will, maybe bad way to say it, but a warning shot to anyone who's considering doing something stupid. Because these are teenagers, and teenagers do stupid shit.
Yeah, they do.
And sometimes they don't even realize what they're doing. We've all been there.
True. We've all done dumb things when we were kids.
Yeah.
And hey, if what you're saying is right, then absolutely. Good on the police for doing that. But let's enforce the law equally. If you're going to consider laying hate charges and actually dedicate manpower to finding a group of teens who was clearly just on a mischief spree,
Yeah.
then let's do it for all flags. Anybody who's desecrating flags, it should be a hate crime. Because like I said, I watched some of that protest in Toronto yesterday, the counter-protesters who were marching against the Walk with Israel. They were burning Israeli flags, dragging them on the ground, walking all over them.
Right.
And I don't understand the difference here, why we would go after a bunch of teenagers that went after a pride flag, but nobody does anything when somebody takes down an Israeli flag. I don't understand that, but maybe I'm not meant to. It was the weekend to conquer Cancer Cat, the annual bike ride from Toronto to Niagara Falls. So me, living in North Burlington, that's a very, very popular cycling area. Constantly people on bikes, got a lot of hills and valleys and things like that. What I did not realize is that the Ride to Conquer Cancer route went right through my neighborhood.
Did it really?
Yeah.
So you caught a lot of it, I assume.
I have never seen people that looked that close to death and were not being attended to by a paramedic.
Really?
Cat, some of the, like when you get into some of the real hills and valleys around like Lowville, if you're ever going down Guelph Line, you go down a big hill and then you have to go up a massive hill.
They're intense.
Before you go back down another huge hill.
Yeah.
Some of these people, I thought to myself, we should probably have firefighters or paramedics or someone around this route because these people look like they are one pivot away from like going down.
Yes.
But good on the people who did it. That's a hell of a bike ride.
That's insane. Good on you. Yeah.
Also want to mention a stunt driver. This was tweeted out by our friend Carrie Schmidt from the OPP. Last September, they jammed somebody who was going 175 kilometers an hour on the highway. And we hear that way too often these days. People going more than double the limit, and this is bad. 75 over the limit. Come on. I don't know what happened in this case. Maybe they just found a good judge on a bad day. He ordered the guy 90 days in jail and a 2-year license suspension.
I would love
for stunt driving.
I would love to. Do you think that this is a guy who had no remorse, showed no remorse, and
Possibly.
was like, "Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. My car's fast. I'm cool.
I don't know, but
Get the fuck in jail."
Yeah,
I would do the same thing. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, think about it while you're in jail.
100%. That's a good way to send a message. Let's start throwing people in the slammer. You know.
Yep.
Quick sports here. The NBA championships are on right now.
That's right. That's right.
It's weird because I feel like this is the time of year where most people in Southern Ontario have checked out of sports for a little while.
For the most part, you're right. And most of our teams are usually out by now.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of teams that play in June here in Southern Ontario. Leafs, of course, are out. And I think the only reason there's any interest at all in the Stanley Cup final is because of Edmonton and Connor McDavid. Everybody seems to love this guy. They want to see him win a cup. NBA championship is a much harder sell. Raptors didn't even make the playoffs. We've got a final now between Boston and the Dallas Mavericks. And as good as the Mavericks are, Boston is completely dominant in this. I don't think anybody is going to be able to catch Boston this year. They're too good. By the way, coming up at the end of this episode, you can hear missed connections from today's Scott and Kat radio show, which, by the way, is now on. We should remind people again, if you're in Barrie or Simcoe County, we're now on in the afternoon.
We are. 3 to 6 is when you can catch us on Fresh 93.1, and you can also stream everywhere that we're on the radio. You could stream through the iHeartRadio app. We're new on there, like the radio stations. It's a good app. It's quick. It's convenient.
Looks great on a dashboard.
It'll stream through your Alexa or your Google, whatever you use. So anyway, iHeartRadio app, grab it, and then our show will be on there.
Got to get the podcast on there soon.
Yes, we will. We're working on it.
They told us it'll be soon. We were on iHeart for a while, and then we stopped working at a station that was part of iHeart, so they kicked us off. Now they got to put us back on, and they're taking their sweet-ass time. So hopefully soon, everybody, you'll be able to get everything in one app. Let's talk about Jamie Foxx's dick.
No, not. Why do you keep talking about Jamie Foxx's dick?
It's not Jamie Foxx. Sorry, it's
Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon. Wait, that's not the same person, right?
If you want to talk about
that's not the same person.
If you want to talk about Jamie Foxx's dick, we can. But I don't know what we can bring to the table with it. Do you have any thoughts on Jamie Foxx's dick?
Well, I know a few people that I could probably call. I bet if I called enough people, I could find someone who's seen it.
Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon had a lot of kids. Actually, it's. I'll give you the exact amount: 12 kids in 12 years with 6 women. In case you're wondering the math,
Say
the
that
numbers.
Again.
12 kids in 12 years with 6 women.
Wow.
Yeah. So obviously we all know, and it's like a running joke, and he doesn't care. He plays it up. He loves it. People know that he's I'm a baby making machine, and all that shit. He loves it. So this is a part of an endorsement deal from what I could tell. I'll tell you about the endorsement deal in a sec. But the story goes, he has taken out a $10 million insurance policy on his balls. He says He needs to make sure that he gets the protection he needs to keep his family tree rolling. He says, haters say it's time for me to stop having kids and put these balls to rest, but I'm doubling down on these balls and my future kids. So it is sponsored by a soap brand for men. It looks like part of his deal is the insurance policy, though. The soap is Dr. Squatch natural soaps. They're handmade, cold pressed, and formulated specifically for men.
Cold pressed soap.
Just in time for Father's Day. It makes sense to use Nick Cannon for this. Fine.
Sure, he's
fine.
The world's busiest dad.
I would love to know. He probably is busy. I don't blame the company for working with him when they're trying to promote for Father's Day. Great, smart, love it. How much is an insurance policy on your balls? If I Google that on this computer, am I going to get flagged?
You might. I mean, people have insured many things. Singers insure their voice. Baseball players will insure their arm. And depending on the risk of it being injured is how much you base the premiums on. Now, a guy doesn't get hurt in the nuts that often. But when they do, it's never just a little tickle. It's always a serious injury.
You can hear them screaming from miles away.
I'm reading about it right now on WebMD. 85% of testicular injuries are caused by trauma or a strike to the nuts.
Yeah.
Most commonly from getting kicked, getting hit by a baseball, a motorcycle accident, or a bicycle accident.
Ooh.
Does Nick Cannon ride a motorcycle, play baseball, or argue with women who like to kick?
He might argue with women who like to kick.
Got it.
I'm not sure what his current situation is with women because he was with Brie from Selling Sunset. Everybody watches that show knows, but not with, you know what I mean? Not exclusively. So I don't know. I'm sure it gets a little weird in that house. That could be one of the things you'd want to protect yourself from because you never know who's going to get jealous.
Other mishaps can include a piercing of the scrotum, bites, animal bites, bullet wounds, and accidents with machinery. What kind of machinery would have your nuts real close to it? I'm trying to figure that out. Is there any scenario where your nuts would be hanging over top of a piece of machinery?
That's a good question. Not unless you're using it in the wrong way. Oh. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
You're kind of putting yourself in danger, though, there.
I'm sure there's some guy who's tried to stick their nuts in a panini press or something stupid like that.
It's funny enough, though, that Mariah, one of the women that he has 2 kids with, put out an insurance policy on her legs and her voice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're fully insured from the waist down.
Yeah, they like the insurance there. It's good. They're good to go.
How does it work, though, with Nick Cannon? Because all the girls know about all the other girls, and that's fine.
Yeah.
They're not all living together, though. Like, I thought the whole point of him doing this, or maybe he didn't start out this way, but when you end up with 12 kids from 6 different women in 12 years, maybe you have to pivot a little bit from your original plan. I thought that the plan was for him to be like the boss, and all these different women would have different bedrooms with their kids in some big mansion, and all the kids would be together, and then he would just sort of take turns with the women. Is he still sexually active with them, or is it just, you're my baby mama,
so.
You're going to get a check every month, I don't need to see you anymore?
They have, so like I said, I watched Selling Sunset, and one of the baby mamas, her name is Brie. She's a real estate agent on that show. So she did answer some of the questions, and I found it interesting. I don't know where it stands when it comes to them wanting to date others, though. You know what I mean? Like, that's the part that I don't think that she'll address. Basically, how it works is if she needs something, all she has to do is talk to him about that, and he'll cover the finances for the kids as needed, when needed, if needed. And there's no questions. Like, if you're like, hey, your kid wants to start karate classes, but he got to have a private, lessons, and this is how much it's going to cost. Great, no problem. And he'll sign off on paying for it. They have their own places, and a lot of them have their own careers, to be fair. These are not people who just sit around. I don't know for certain how hard they work, but I can tell you a lot of these people have their own careers and own life and own shit going on.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure out, are these women allowed to have kids with other guys? Would there be stepchildren involved here?
That's a good question. That's what I mean. When it comes to what they're allowed to do, actually, I say allowed. They should be allowed to do whatever the fuck they want. But you know what I mean? When it comes to them, how do they feel about finding a partner, right? So Nick could be, of course, is the father of your kid, or kids, plural, but you find a partner. What is that like? I don't know if any of them have really moved onto a relationship. I don't follow them all or anything, so I couldn't tell you right now.
I got to think there's paperwork. I can't for the life of me imagine that Nick Cannon goes and impregnates each one of these 6 women twice, and there was no discussion about some basic rules and how things are going to work.
Yeah.
I think they must have had to agree to something.
You have to, because you have to avoid messy. And I'm sure, and so far, how is it that he's avoided messy?
Nobody
he must have
talks
this
bad.
agreement, right?
Yeah.
This is what I mean. Like, no, you have to know this going into it.
So when he's on like every television show and he's got all kinds of shit going on, is he doing that because he's paying some exorbitant amount of child support? Or does he just like to work? I don't know what the answer is there.
I don't know if it's labeled as child support because, like I said, the way that she said it anyway, this is what Bree, one of the baby mamas, said. Is basically, it's not like that. There's no child support. It's when I need something, I just ask for you and you do it. And it's reasonable. And everybody seems to have, no one's taken advantage of the system or something weird so far that we know of, which is pretty amazing.
Maybe we should get Nick Cannon to rewrite the child support laws in Ontario then, because some people are getting really screwed over on those.
They are, but people are also lazy and don't work. And this is a guy that actually does work.
Got it.
So a little different maybe.
Okay. Yeah, I'm fascinated by that.
Yeah. I know it's interesting, isn't it?
I don't know how he gets away with it, or maybe this is a scenario that more people should be considering.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to be part of a weird caravan of sexual conquests and just the children in tow.
Yeah. I don't know.
Kind of along the same lines. But and by the way, before we move on, because I'm still fascinated by Nick Cannon, do you think Mariah has different rules than the other 5 women?
Yes.
I bet you she gets treated like she's like the queen. And
100%.
The other 5 are below her.
100%. Mariah comes first. Mariah comes, and from what I've heard, actually, these are actually the only weird drama rumors I've heard do have to do with Mariah. And she wants, so you know that he has like the kids together sometimes, like he'll post photos every now and again of all his kids together. And it looks like they rent out a place to, like, you know what I mean?
Like fucking Disney World.
She apparently is like, I'm not fucking showing up to that. Like, you can take the kids. Here's they're your children. You can bring them to meet and say hello to their brothers and sisters. I'm not fucking going to that. She doesn't want any part of that woman's part of it, this partner's part of it. You know what I mean? But he has so much respect for her that he's like, absolutely, whatever you want.
By the way, they never have a bad word to say about each other. And usually when something goes south in Hollywood, somebody's got a story to tell. Both of them speak very, very highly of each other, despite this very unusual circumstance.
Yeah, they do, actually. They still get along quite well, apparently. Yeah.
Along the same lines, but not really. Let's bring in Ray J for a second here. He made an interesting claim at the end of last week.
I heard about this, yeah.
That he has basically paved the way for the porn that we all know and love today. Him making a sex tape, almost kind of normalized, filming yourself and putting it on Pornhub or any of the other sites that you may do that. It also, in a weird kind of a way, created like a new sexual revolution, is basically what he's suggesting. Let me see if I can read you the quote here. How different would we all be? Ray J asked, having been asked himself about life with no sex tape. How different would this whole fucking thing be? Again, this is a quote. How different would this industry be? Everything would be different. There might not be an OnlyFans and all the things like that. All the opportunities like that. Probably more people would be going to college. He's taking credit for OnlyFans, Cat. Ray J, because he banged Kim Kardashian before she was famous, and then she leaked the tape to try and get famous.
He's trying to take credit for people not going to college. What a weird thing to try to say about yourself.
Is that a bona fide career choice? Like, are there people in like toward the end of high school or the beginning of university who are saying, I don't really need to go to trade school. I don't need to go to university. My goal is to be an influencer. My goal is to be an OnlyFans model. And does it actually work? Is it same odds as like becoming a pro hockey player? Like 1 in a million are actually going to make it? I don't understand that mindset.
Yeah, you kind of have to, I think it kind of works the opposite way. And by that, I mean, you're doing your thing, you're in school, you're doing it, and then you find yourself with a bigger following and realize I can make money off of this. But in a lot of cases, it has backfired. I know people personally who've been like, yeah, I'm a inspirational influencer, but it really doesn't pay the bills at the end of the day. So they have to rely on a job, like a regular job. I mean, like a whatever it is, and then do that on the side. I don't know how many people would not go to college because they want to do that. I don't know how many of those there are. But when it comes to Ray J, though, like Ray J, shut the fuck up.
Settle down,
honestly,
dude.
like this guy, it's the saddest thing to me that this guy is still talking about this sex tape. Like, you didn't make it famous from the sex tape. Kim certainly did. Kris Jenner is really the reason why everybody in that family is famous thanks to that sex tape.
Do you believe it was Kris that leaked the tape?
100%. And I think she's like one of the savviest, smartest business women there will ever be.
No doubt. Do you have to tell your daughter, hey, that sex tape, I saw it, and I'm going to put it out there, and you're going to be a billionaire in 10 years. Deal?
Obviously it was something that they orchestrated, I think. That it was, yeah.
Diabolical to basically prostitute out your own kids. I mean, it paid off. They're all billionaires, or most of them are billionaires.
If it happened that way, maybe. Or maybe they knew it was leaked anyway or going to be leaked, and they thought, let's just see where this goes. Because if anything, like, people will be talking about you. All publicity could be good publicity for us. It could have been like that. But it was such a weird time where you didn't see that. That wasn't a thing that happened. And Paris Hilton had a sex tape not long after that. And then what was it? Pamela Anderson's was before that, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
So technically speaking.
That was on VHS.
Technically speaking, those two were the first to kind of, I don't even want to call it pioneering because that's really sad. But you know what I mean? They were the first ones. Ray J is so sad to me for trying to still talk. Like, dude, you are going to be known as that guy. You are going to be known as that guy for sure. But stop trying to make yourself popular or make something out of it, man. Move on. Doesn't he used to sing or something?
Yeah, he did.
I know he's not good at that either, I guess.
Not
maybe.
really.
Like, he's probably not good at that. But, like, figure something out. Like, stop talking about it. Get over it.
I think two more things, and then we're going to get to the replay of Missed Connections. This weekend, as you may have heard, was the World Naked Bike Ride. Now, I didn't hear much about the one in Toronto. I don't think it was as popular as they have been in the past.
Good.
But I am looking at one of them from, I think this is London. Maybe it's Manchester. It's over in the UK. This one, something very different happened at the World Naked Bike Ride. I'm going to press pause in a second. What you can't see here, so I'm going to describe for you, is a couple of nude people on bicycles came riding down the street, and there was a big crowd on either side of the street. That's when a few other people, concerned parents they call themselves, who have had enough of adults trying to be naked in front of their kids, beat the living shit out of these people on bikes.
Oh, yes. That's amazing.
A couple of them kept pedaling, but the ones who stopped, they got their ass kicked, their bare ass kicked. And I'm not even all that upset about it. I mean, you were riding naked down the street. Whether it's allowed because of this fucking weird, sick thing, or whether you're just a perv, you probably deserve to get your butt kicked because it's not a normal thing to want to stroll down in front of hundreds of strangers with your wang out. Yep. It's just not a normal thing.
Yep, I love it. I would like, obviously, repercussions. I wouldn't want any of those, but man, I'd love to tell those people where to fucking go.
Well, that's the thing. Whether you assault a pervert or you assault a regular person, it's still assault.
It's still assault. So I would never assault anybody, but like, I'm not unhappy someone did it.
All right, I got one more thing I wanted to play for you. I got it here. This is what happened yesterday. Today in Ottawa, they're going to unveil the details of the increase to the capital gains. And for those who don't know, this is something that came out in the budget. And the Conservatives said we're opposed to the budget. So the Liberals took it out of the budget and made it a standalone bill because they wanted the Conservatives to specifically say if they oppose raising the capital gains tax. And so far it seems to be working because Pierre Poilievre hasn't said whether or not he opposes this. He hasn't said that if he gets elected, he'll scrap it. But there's a lot of people who are very, very worried right now because this is going to take a huge chunk of their money. Mm-hmm. Huge chunk. This is, I just sold the family cottage, time to let it go. And you got to pay a lot more, tens of thousands more in taxes on it than you had to previously. So people are concerned, and there's a lot to be concerned about here. But before I explain the details, let me just play for you yesterday, the finance minister announcing that today she will announce the details on this increase to the capital gains tax. Listen to this.
This week will be an important political moment for our democracy. It will be a moment when Canadians will be able to see what each one of their members of parliament believes in. This week will be.
That's just a short clip of it.
Okay.
I wish I had more, but basically what she's suggesting is that the rich are going to be living in gated communities and have to build higher fences to protect themselves because the poor have had enough and they're ready for an uprising, like pitchforks and torches through the street trying to lynch the rich people. It's almost trying to create a class war, but it occurred to me that I think that's kind of what they want. The Liberals don't have a lot of support here, so what they're hoping is that those younger people, those who have less means, less income, are going to stand up and support them to say, yeah, screw the people, charge them an extra 1/3 on their property tax or on their capital gains taxes. The thing is, I think by and large, most people are starting to realize this isn't going after CEOs of companies, and this isn't going after those people who run hospitals and get $700,000 a year salaries. Anybody could have an investment. There's people who have written to me that when they were younger, living with their parents, they invested and bought a condo and they rented the condo out. Now they're ready to sell the condo, take the cash, and buy themselves a main residence. And because of their smart investment, they can now afford to buy a detached house with a double-car garage, the dream, right? And now they're going to get taxed so much that that dream is off the table. Now they got to hang on to this condo unless they can sell it by June 25th because it's going to cost so much more in taxes. At what point do we say we've paid enough in taxes? Like all of us. It's income taxes, sales taxes, excise taxes.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me that they keep coming back with this plan to take more money from people. And this one, they say, only goes after the top 1 or top 0.3% of income earners. And that's just, I don't see that happening. But I also don't see an alternative because what they've announced is when this tax increase kicks in, June 25th, it will kick in regardless of whether or not this is actually passed in the House of Commons. How does that work? Don't we have a House of Commons to vote on these things? And we know that the Liberals and Conservatives can team up and get it through, but it's not just a formality. It still needs to go through, doesn't it? Can they just increase taxes? I thought that was one of the few things that definitely had to go through Parliament. We'll find out today when they make the announcement, and then I'd love to hear from you. Are you impacted by this? 1-833-915-SHOW is how you can text us about that or anything else you heard in the pod today. Is there anything else we got to mention here?
I think that's about it. We've got a lovely Missed Connections episode coming up for you next.
Dollar store missed connections are the best, aren't
they?
Here we go. Have a great day, everybody.
Missed Connections. Missed Connections on the Scott and Kat Show.
All right, everybody, welcome. This is going to be a fun one. This is where we're going to try and connect two people. They did have an encounter in the past. One person's looking for the other, so they told the story online, and that's where we got them from.
Always an unsettling feeling when you see someone nearby who looks like they're filming you.
Oh, yeah.
You don't know why. What's going on? This one's called You Took Photos of Me. I was with my dog at the park a few weeks ago. A man stopped me and asked, "Can I take some photos of you?" I said, "Sure." He snapped some as we walked. He even got some of my dog's photos of him doing tricks. He told me, "Don't worry, I'm just doing this for fun. I'll get you the photos." And he gave me his email. I did try emailing him, but it bounced back. I would love to have those photos, for a number of reasons, I guess. When I got home, I realized my dress was completely see-through.
Yeah.
But maybe he didn't notice.
Maybe not.
Is that true? Would he maybe not notice?
That's probably the first thing he noticed. Come on.
The guy was pretty cute, though. But I do realize that doesn't make it okay.
No. Unfortunately, I think you were taken advantage of. There you are, just flashing your bits everywhere. Inadvertently, but they were out there. Guy asked you if he could take pictures, and you were like, "Sure, no problem. Can I have a copy?"
You can't say no.
No.
It carries on. Does anybody know the guy who frequents the parks with the big black camera?
I bet you the cops know.
He was wearing a red hat. Might as well be a red flag. No. His name was Gregory, I think. The email didn't give his exact name. I don't need to go on a date with him, but at the least, I'd like to glance at the photos.
Yeah. Parkflasher@gmail.com doesn't work. It bounces back, does it? Okay.
He didn't know. No, nothing was weird about that, right?
No. There are people out there, though, who fancy themselves as an amateur photographer. And maybe they think, yeah, I'll get some great landscapes at the park. When a girl walks in with see-through clothing on and says, sure, take all the pictures you want. I see where this guy's day got better.
Gregory at localjail.com.
Greg at watchlist.com.
Most wanted. Okay. All right.
If you want to see him again, he's probably on the wall at the police station. There's usually about 10 people. They hang up there.
Get them to draw you a sketch. It might come in handy. The next misconnections is called Party Guy. Hey, Party Guy. Glad I went to the Dollar Tree same time as you, so I could witness you. I loved how crazy you were. I caught you getting ready for a serious party. Looked like you're out to have a good time. Shot glass necklaces, streamers, plastic cups, even balloons. It looks like fun. I think you went for every cost-sensitive party item in Dollar Tree that it had to offer. I'm the woman that came real close to your face and asked, "Can I come?" You moved back.
Ugh.
I think I startled you. Anyway, you had a cart with a theme. P-A-R-T-Y, because you gotta. Oh, I get it. That's a mask reference.
Yes.
I complimented how strong you must be as you walked out with 6 bags in both hands. You made me feral. I wish I got an invite.
You made me feral.
I have an idea. Park Guy.
Mm-hmm.
Dollar Tree Girl.
Yes.
Good combo?
Great combo.
Let's just keep them together in one spot.
Just
so we always know where they are.
Wreaking havoc on your city at any given time. Yeah. Did we ever find out what the party was for?
I wish. No. Okay, well, you tell me. Shot glass necklaces. She got real close to this cart, guys. Like, way too close.
Yeah, she got right in his face, right? That's weird.
I got right in your face and asked, "Can I come?" Oh.
Scary is what it is.
Streamers, plastic cups, balloons. I mean, gosh, this could be anything.
Sounds a little birthday party-ish, but who knows? It could be a stag. It could be some sort of a low-end, like, buck and doe or something like that. You never know.
It was the Dollar Tree. I mean, they didn't have a party planner, I'm assuming.
Dollar stores. For when you want to decorate, just not that much.
On a budget, it works.
For when you want to put up decorations that everybody has seen before.
That you throw out immediately after the event is over.
It was only $1. Who cares? Throw it out.
Just throw it out. We'll get it next time. Get more.
Can I come? Oh, my God. Creepy lady. Missed connections on the Scott and Kat Show.